You guys, I can't believe that I ate all my dinner at Red Lobster tonight. It is always really awesome to eat all of your dinner. You know? Now, granted, I was paying for it, and anytime that I've bought food for myself, I'm a lot more inclined to eat all of it because I spent money on it, and I hate letting things go to waste. Like, that always makes me sad. I think you guys probably know that I have abandonment issues, so anytime that I throw something away and I feel like it wasn't used, you know, not to sound like a sex trafficker or anything like that, but, you know, I feel like there's so much that can be done with something. And, you know, if, like, I have food and I'm not eating it, it's like, well, I could give it to somebody else that would eat it. And if I throw it away because it's spoiled or went bad or it's just stale and gross and I don't want to eat it unless I'm really high, and even when I am high, it's still gross, you know, it's like, man, that could have been put to good use, and it wasn't because I'm selfish and lazy and I wasn't paying attention, you know? So that shit's on me, right? Well, I don't want to be that kind of a person. It's just wasteful, you know what I mean? That's not okay. It's really important to be the kind of person that you want to be. And I think that we all have a problem where, you know, we live inside of our heads and, you know, and I think that social networking exacerbates this problem quite immensely. And that's why I don't do it. That's why I have to take breaks from YouTube, because it just gets to my head. It's like a worm that just eats my brain cells. Hold on one second. But, yeah, like, people are a lot better off if they don't do all that stuff, you know? They're a lot better off if they stay off the internet. They're a lot better off if they, you know, don't watch as much TV, or if they go out and exercise. But you'd be amazed as to, like, how much people will voluntarily do things that aren't good for them. And it's not just that they're not good for them, like, they literally make them feel bad, you know? And I realize that there are certain things that are so good that eventually they're bad, right? You know, like heroin. But, it's like a lot of this stuff, I wonder if there was ever, like, a period where it was good. You know, like, I realize that shooting up dope between your veins is, like, that's really intense. It's a really extreme thing to do. But, like, there's no way to do that and not be extreme. Like, I don't think that there are casual heroin addicts or they're casual heroin users, you know? It's kind of one of those all or nothing, I'm either going to do this until I die or not do it at all kind of things. But anyway, what was I saying? I have no idea. Okay, well, I was thinking about food and, like, GMOs, and, like, maybe there was a period in my life where, like, I could eat a bunch of crap and, like, not feel like a horrible person. But, like, now that I get older, I'm like, wow, like, I feel like shit when I eat too many potato chips, or, like, I feel like shit when I eat those, like, chocolate nutty bar things. You know, like, I feel like a horrible person. And it's not just because I'm beating myself up. It's like, there's obvious GMOs, there's obvious GMOs, there's obvious GMOs, there's obvious GMOs. But it's really like the principle of it. Like, I know that I'm putting crap into my body. Of course I'm going to feel like crap about it. And I usually feel physically ill afterwards. But anyway, I know that you know what I mean. So, You're not on antidepressants yet, Vortex, are you? I hope not. I mean, why wouldn't they try to get the Vortex on antidepressants? They've tried to get everybody else on antidepressants. The Vortex isn't special. I'm sure the Vortex is white. That's the thing. They don't really market that shit to black people and brown people. And the reason for that is because, you know, black people and brown people, you know, they're so used to things not being as good. Not to say that there aren't white people that you know, don't live in a trailer park, but it's like, it's kind of weird if you look at it from that perspective. Like, you know, people that grow up in like the projects or like, you know, like some urban housing development that's not very good, you know, like those people probably have a lot more to worry about. So you'd think that they would need antidepressants more than somebody that like grew up in a nice, you know, white neighborhood with no crime and, you know, nothing to really worry about. Like, it's just funny. Like, I mean, when have you seen a commercial where they're talking about depression or anxiety or whatever the fuck they make up next, and you see a black person or a Hispanic person? Like, they don't market that shit to people of color because people of color have better ways to deal with their shit, and they typically don't have money to pay for all of these death pills. So, you know, food for thought. Anyway, I know that people are just going to listen to this and be like, she's crazy. She's crazy. And she's trying to medicate everyone. Okay, so I just received an insult from a so-called friend who said that his library is better than mine. Ha! Ho! Never texting him again. I'm kidding. I'll probably send him a text within 5 minutes, but I think he was talking about his movie library. That's so funny because you've literally turned him on to so many things. You turn him on to Elliott Smith. You turn him on to Wes Anderson. You turn him on to borderline personality disorder. You turn him on to schizophrenia. All this shit. That's true. He would be nowhere without me. Now, this friend I'm talking about, he's like 1,000 times more talented than I'll ever be. When people hear him play guitar, they always compare him to Bob Dylan, and he fucking hates it. He does like Bob Dylan, though. But that's like the worst to be like compared to somebody that you listen to. Because even though it's a compliment, like other people would look at it like, oh, that's a compliment. A real artist that actually does stuff that, you know, they hope is coming from like a very personal place. They don't want to be compared to like somebody else that was doing that as well, you know, because, you know, art is supposed to be authentic. There's comedians that screwed all that up, right? Sorry, you guys, I have like all this stuff I have to pick up because I threw it out of my purse in a fit of rage. Look at all these advanced financial pens. I have a ridiculous amount of advanced financial pens. I'm trying to like shoot videos until the camera cuts me off. It's like a rule that I have. See this Bible? It's from 1960. Like, my mother received this Bible before she married my dad. You see that shit? June 26th, 1960. 70, 80, 90, 2000, 60 years. Yay, we can do math. We're better than Elizabeth Warren. Did y'all fucking see that shit? Now, as you in the Vortex probably know, I'm no Bernie bruh, but that shit was funny. What's really funny is that she got mad about it. It's like, if you're gonna make some, like, blanket statement that's totally false, don't expect somebody that you consider your friend that you're trying to throw under the bus, don't expect him to not fire back at you. Especially when you're trying to steal his whole platform and act like you're not a lying sack of shit. You know? That's fucked up. Because she's essentially running on, like, the same platform that he's been running on. Only she's trying to make all this shit about sexism. You've noticed that, like, a lot of females that aren't very strong have done that? You notice that Tulsi Gabbard doesn't do that? You notice that Marianne Williamson doesn't do that? They don't constantly bemoan, like, being a woman in politics. I mean, that's just fucking annoying. It's like women that do that. First of all, those women are sexist themselves. They're sexist against men. And second, they're obviously not that talented or they wouldn't feel the need to do that. You know, like, if you are good at what you do and you deserve the position, you'll get the position, you know? Well, I don't want to say that, but yeah, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, you know, I feel like people that are talented, people that are successful, people that are smart, it's like, it speaks for itself, you know? So, people like Elizabeth Warren and people like Hillary Clinton, and, you know, it's like that kind of woman that blames their failures on other people, you know, and says a bunch of stuff that's not true. You know, she's made false claims a number of times, Miss Lizzie, and, it's amusing to me, like, how many people will, like, justify that. You know, I mean, they do the same thing about Trump. If they really love Trump, they'll, you know, they'll just blindly support him no matter what crazy shit he does next, you know, but it's like, I'm not that way about it. You gotta criticize people when they need to be criticized, but you also have to give credit where credit's due, you know? If somebody says or does something that's right, you know, you gotta acknowledge that shit. I'm very fair, y'all. I'm very, very fucking fair. But, yeah, long story short, Elizabeth Warren's a piece of garbage. Who knew? Her supporters don't. But, anyway. How the fuck do I have that? That is for your, what do you call it? I don't remember the name of it. But it's, I can show you. This is what I have. It's like some sort of skin thing. Psoriasis. Psoriasis, it starts with a P, but it doesn't sound like it starts with a P. It's one of those weird words. It's one of those, like, mind fuck words. Like, gaslighting. We're gonna screw with everybody's reality kind of words. Fuck psoriasis, right? With psoriasis, I believe it's spelled P-S-O-R-I-A-S-I-S. I don't know. But it starts with a P, and it's very misleading. Anyway, I think I got all my stuff. Ooh, a paycheck for $51.94. That's exciting. Anyway, gotta get all my shit. I think I got all my shit. All right. So, I'm a very complicated person. That's why like, I do stuff to, like, try to simplify my life. And I guess to, like, the ordinary person, it probably seems like it does the opposite. But when you have a screwy brain, you have to accommodate. Rather than screw your brain up even more by trying to get it to function the way that society tells you it should function. So basically that means not function. Of course I'm going to be hostile towards society. Of course I'm going to be negative and cynical and, you know, rebellious and defensive. Holy shit. I just randomly turned this on accidentally. But, you know, like, how could I not be defensive about it? How could I, like, this is my life, you know? This is my life, and it, not to sound like Bon Jovi, but it's like when you live your life and you know yourself really well. It's everybody else that's just, like, totally unaware of anything, least of all what they're experiencing. And, like, when you're just, like, immersed in that sea of stupidity all the time, and then people act like you're fucked up, because you're like, yeah, I don't trust the media. And they're like, start foaming at the mouth, and they choke to death. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, that's not reality. That's just a little fantasy of mine. That's pretty sick, I know. But it's just fucked up. It's fucked up that, like, people don't want to know more. I guess that's the saddest thing. To me, that's the saddest thing. But, I want to have hope, though. Like, even if things are really bad, like, I still want to have hope anyway. Because it's not good to, you know, just give up hope. It's not good to just, like, be that nihilistic about it. And, you know, I know plenty of people that have kids, and I just think about that. Like, I don't have kids of my own, but I think about other people's kids, and I'm like, man, like, you really just want to throw it in the towel? Like, there are all these other people, like, they don't have that option. Like, they have to be positive. They have to try to be something of a, you know, more of like an optimistic force in their child's life. You know, like, whatever's going on around them, that, you know, everything else is falling apart. It's kind of like life, the movie Life is Beautiful, you know? It's just like that. This is just like Nazi Germany. But no, that movie is, like, really, really beautiful. I know it's very inaccurate, but let's forget that it's inaccurate, and let's pretend that that's, like, a real story, and so inspiring, so beautiful. Father's in a concentration camp with his son, and he is desperate to convince his son that, you know, what's going on around him is not what's going on around him. He's trying to convince him that it's all a game, and what you see in front of you that's really horrible, that's not actually happening. You know, it's actually, like, a really profound film if you look at it from that perspective, you know, especially when it comes to, like, you know, seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Like, you know, you want your kids to remain innocent for as long as possible, which is why, you know, I totally understand why my parents were so protective of me. Because just looking at the world and how horrible and corrupt it is, it's like, yeah, I don't really want my kids to be subjected to all of this, you know? It's already, like, confusing enough being a kid, and it's like, you want to take gender away now? Like, that's just terrible. It's terrible, terrible. All for, like, the inclusiveness of some fucking freaks. Like, and And I don't even mean that in like a mean way, but like, I mean, I'm a freak, you guys. I'm a total freak. I mean, people look at me and they assume I'm a transgender, or they think I'm a feminist, or they think I'm a lesbian or something, you know? So it's like, I get treated that way. People look at me like I'm like that, and that's not how I feel. But I understand, like, the marginalization of people that are different. I really get it. Trust me, I do. But that doesn't mean, like, change all the rules, you guys. That just means, you know, break them in your own life. Like, why can't that be good enough for these people? I just don't understand. I think that people are just very, very uncreative. Like, when it comes to the world is always going to let you down. And if you keep expecting the world to live up to your expectations, you will be disappointed every single time, because people are full of shit and they don't care about anybody but themselves. And you're lucky if you find somebody that actually legitimately gives a flying fuck about you. And you're really lucky if, you know, you can make something work with that person, and you can bring more people into the world that hopefully will leave, you know, something positive for our future. But, you know, I think that for the most part we're pretty doomed, but I gotta try to at least be optimistic. I have to try. I have to try really hard. Hey, guess what? Look, hey, see? She's gonna try to tear apart that bag of food. Hey, Paisley. That's cool if she gets it open with her teeth, because that means I have to do less work. I know. We've been gone for so long. Hey. You like that almond milk? It's not laundry detergent. It looks like it, though. It looks exactly like laundry detergent. Something I was noticing in the grocery store, like, they have giant bags of food. Like, they have cat food. Like, I almost bought this bag of food. It was like $22. I was like, that's way too much money. But it's huge. It looks like a bag of dog food, but it's a bag of cat food. But they also have, like, bags of cereal that look like dog food. But I've noticed that, like, most of the special milk, whether it's almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk, coconut milk, they just keep coming up with more ways to get milk out of rocks and shit. But, it always comes in these weird-ass containers. I just find that amusing. But anyway, 3 minutes, y'all. 3 minutes. So yeah, I try to give myself as much stuff to do as possible, because, like, the less stuff I have to do, the worse it is for me. The less stuff I have to do, the more likely it is that I won't get any of it done. And the reason for that is because, well, it's really hard for me to get stuff done, but, well, I guess that light's out. That's good to know. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm positive. I'm never positive, but I'm positive about that shit. But, yeah, so it's like the more stuff I gotta do, like, the better it is for me. So, like, if I have, like, 15 videos I gotta watch, like, I'll watch all of them. But if I have 2 videos, that shit'll be on my laptop for weeks, you know? So maybe that's why I get lost, too. Because, like, I have to pray. Because, like, it's all fun and games at first, and then, like, I really have no idea where I am, and I'm like, please, God, just get me home. Just get me home. It requires me to reach out, you know? And God always reaches back, because I found my way to a fucking church, in case you don't recall. But anyway, it says I have 1 minute left, so I'm going to go. Bye.